Welcome back for our next indie horror game, House of the Soul. Looks like we got 3 chapters for this one. Here we go. Chapter 1. Detective Dahlia Everett. Must be us. I shall warn you now, taking on this case may lead you to see and experience things which are stranger than you are used to. I tried to keep these events... What the fuck? Okay, that disappears too fast for me to read it. So go ahead and pause that and read it on your own. I can't read that quick. Well, concerned citizen, huh? So we're a detective, female detective, who was sent to this house on an anonymous tip from someone who thinks there's some sort of heinous shit going on in this house, and he wants it stopped because he believes if it's not stopped, it could potentially break down reality itself. It's pretty deep shit. We should probably get to stopping that, huh? New objective, get into the basement. Well, that was locked. Locked. At least I got a map for this one, that's good. What we got here? Library key. Locked. This game's gonna be a key hunt. I can tell already all these locked doors hanging up. Diary of Florence Delacrevier, June 17th. These days I find myself plagued by an unmoving miasma of worry. I'm concerned for my dear husband Jean, who seems to be entering a period of intense boredom. When I look into his eyes, the familiar glitter of the man I once knew is gone. He can barely seem to muster up the energy to speak with me on an evening beyond one-word monotone responses. I remember the early days of our marriage 19 years ago. He used to be so full of wonder for the world around him, ever searching for a new discovery or technology to experiment with. He would often return home to me with news of some new exciting riddle that he had conquered with his brothers. But all that has changed now. Since he entered this period of... I don't know what that word is. I find him becoming more withdrawn, unaffected by the world around him. I believe there were some old medical journals in the library. It is possible that one of those could give me some ideas on how to reinvigorate him back to his former self. Okay, well, let's go find the library. Keep that one? Nope. There we go. Oh my god, so many glowing books. The poem on family. To the north looks the mother, stalwart knight of matriarchy. To the east looks the sun, riding a new sunrise of hope. To the south looks the daughter, shying away from prying eyes. To the west looks the father, standing tall and proud against the horizon. That sounds like a puzzle solution. I have played enough of these games to know a puzzle solution when I see one, and that sounds damn well like one. A poem on loss. Entering alone, hands of healers guided me. I found loss lying there. What? Okay, if you say so. A poem on tradition. As we look forward, we leave our backs exposed, so we protect ourselves with a mail of tradition. Father's guidance, mother's wisdom becomes son's ambition, daughter's intuition. Oh, another key. Portrait room. My dearest Florence, now that we are married and you are officially part of the family, I believe it is time I introduce you to a little Delacrevier tradition. Puzzles. See, my great-great-grandfather who built this mansion was, as the story goes, an avid collector of curios and trinkets from around the world. but he especially loved unique yet strange puzzles. Most of the puzzles he kept here have been lost to time, I am afraid, but one remains an integral part of the Delacrivier household in a rather literal sense. I am speaking, of course, of the portrait room. Inspired by the many puzzles he had collected over the years, he had ordered one of his own design to be built into the mansion, which unlocks the door to the upper floor of this library. I shall let you figure out the finer details, but here's a hint from me. There's a particular poem on family in which my grandfather was also very fond of. Absolutely. That poem on family was the solution for whatever's in the portrait room. Diary of Florence Delacrivier, June 19th. I found no useful medical documents in the library, although perusing the old family documentation has perhaps given me some clue as to why Gene is finding himself in this state. I was reminded of Gene's sizable inheritance from both his maternal and paternal grandparents, bestowed upon him when he was a newly started engineering student at university. Presented with such a sizable sum of money, it seems Gene saw fit to drop out there and then. He had, after all, suddenly found himself with a large house and a generously sized fortune to himself. In Gene's head, this meant he would not need to finish his degree or get a job, since he had all the money he could ever need already. This, I believe, is the chief motivator of his downward spiral. Since Gene has never had a job or a goal to work toward, he is lacking a true vocation or purpose. Without his brothers to keep him otherwise occupied, he has simply nothing at all to do besides roam the halls of this old house. We will be making our usual visit to church this Sunday. I will speak to Father Albrecht after the service to see if he has any ideas on what can be done. Side note, must reopen the second floor library door. The mechanism has reset again. It seemed that to be the portrait room puzzle. Let's go find that. Nope, not that one. Well, this is the dining room. That's probably the kitchen, honestly. Right next to the dining room.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, it was just me closing it. I thought it shut behind me. Okay, what did it say? Mother north, son east, daughter south, father west. Okay. Alright. Bingo. That should be the door directly above the library. It should be that door right there. Let's hit it up. Oh, we got another note here. Pinned to the door with a wall with a kitchen knife. Left the office in the kitchen storage room, but got locked out. Office key in the kitchen storage room, but got locked out. I think I saw a storage room key accidentally kicked under one of the kitchen cabinets during banquet preparation. What? Okay. Filthy toilet, filthy mirror, filthy tub, filthy bathroom, otherwise empty. Okay.
Yes.
Diary of Florence Delacrivier, June 23rd. Happiest of days. Gene is reinvigorated, a new man once again. My idea to speak to Father Albrecht worked splendidly. He suggested Gene take to some Bible study for spiritual guidance, and it seems to have worked wonderfully. There's one verse that Gene seems especially enamored with, but he's so busy these days I have not had the chance to look and see which one it is. Things are certainly looking up. I can only hope that this situation will continue to improve from here on out, and his spell of boredom does not return. Latin textbook excerpt. As such, the Romans had a word for this, anima, meaning the animating principle. To them, it was the building blocks of life itself, the door to greater understanding. Find the door for the faded key. Alright. Oh, not that one.
Yes.
There we go. Alright. Diary entry number 4. Diary of Florence Della Crevier, July 2nd. I suppose I was foolish to think this could last. It has been barely 2 weeks since Jean was reinvigorated following Father Albrecht's advice, yet he has already retreated to his unaffected quiet self. He has become completely shut off from me this time. The only time I even see him anymore is when he returns to our bedroom at night, following a full day of isolation in his office. He does not show at mealtimes, nor to greet Elisa, his own daughter, when she returns from school, something he took great pleasure in doing when she first started school a few years ago. I am not completely without hope, however. It is our 20th wedding anniversary next month, and I have a special surprise planned. Will be working together with Elisa and the servant to cook him a full banquet of all of his favorite foods from when we were first courting. If that cannot make him revisit his youthful vigor, I do not know what else can. That reminds me, I must check the attic for wherever I left the spare servant's key. It was truly not safe to have it lying around in unknown areas of the house. We got an attic here. Servant quarters key. Looks like general storage up in the attic space here.
Do that.
That one's locked. Yeah, furniture storage. Alright. What are we looking for? What was the next one? Servants' quarters, right? Right. What's this?
Key is needed.
Nope.
Do that.
Nope. No, servants' quarters wouldn't be on the top floor, but no.
Yes.
There we go. Servant's diary. The master has been behaving very strange these days. He barely speaks to Mrs. Della Crevier or little Elisa anymore. It's such a shame to see him become isolated from her. They used to be so devoted to each other. Although I could be mistaken, just the other day I was cleaning in the master's office on the second floor when I noticed what seemed to be a bill or receipt of some sort, and whatever it is he was arranging to purchase cost a pretty penny. With her anniversary coming up soon, I hope it's a gift of some sort for Mrs. Della Crevier. That would prove the spark truly isn't gone between them. As for Mrs. Della Crevier herself, she has requested that she, Elisa, and myself all work together on cooking an anniversary banquet as a surprise for the master to lift his spirits. As such, I have loaned her the kitchen key I usually store in my bedroom for safekeeping and to stop Elisa from raiding the suites again. Yeah. Bathroom. Servant's bedroom, I guess. There's the key to the kitchen.
Key is needed.
That one's locked. We'll have to remember that. Locked door in the servant's quarters. That and this is the kitchen. Right next to the dining room.
Yes.
Yep. Diary of Florence Della Crevier, August 12th. I find myself saddened beyond words. After weeks of planning and days of preparation, Myself, Elisa, and the servant finally completed our anniversary banquet, and what a sight it was to behold. Once it was all finished and on the table, ready to be eaten, I went to fetch Gene from his office. I arrived at his door full of hope and excitement, but I left that room crushed. See, when I told Gene of the feast awaiting him in the dining room, he simply looked at me in the eyes and said, "What reason could you have for this?" I was shocked at first, and the shock only deepened after some light questioning which revealed Gene had completely forgotten it was our anniversary. Even then, after I had reminded him, he simply responded with a flippant, "How kind, but I have already eaten," and resumed his work as if I wasn't standing right there in front of him. It seems that Gene's portions of the meal should be going to waste then. Upon seeing my disappointment, the servant revealed to me something very interesting. That Gene had been working on a secret project for some time and at great cost, the bill for which is stored in his office. The servant had assumed it was an anniversary gift from him to me, but it seems we can safely rule that out. I must go and find out what project could be so pressing that he would value it above his own family. No kidding. Storeroom key.
Yes.
Must be right there. Office key. No. Nothing in that one. Alright, let's go find the office. It's definitely not the door off the servants' quarters. Probably this one.
Yes.
There we go. Dear Mr. Delacrevier, thanks for choosing our humble builders company to carry out the remodeling on your home. I can confirm that the work on the sublevels will begin on August the 23rd to a value of redacted. I've also looked into your other requests, and while we do not get many requests for puzzle doors, I must admit your idea fascinated me so. The concept of unlocking a door by spelling out a password using toy blocks is truly ingenious, and we have decided also to carry out this work. It will come to an additional cost of redacted. Yours faithfully, the Sampson Builders Association. And that's what he was working on. Some elaborate puzzle in the sub-level of the house. Diary entry 6. Diary of Florence Delacrevier, August 18th. I should have known that Gene's project would be something strange, given how often he has avoided explaining its nature to me. Remodeling works on the sublevels of the house. What could he possibly want those old dusty basements for? And a puzzle door as well, which seems to be in Elisa's bedroom if I am reading his plans correctly. I took to asking Gene directly about the work he has planned. It is my home as well, after all, and he flatly refused any entry to the basement. I believe his exact words were, "As long as I walk this earth, you shall never be allowed down there again." Apparently, it is of such vital importance to him that I don't see what's going on down there, that he has hidden the basement access key and refuses to tell me where. Huh. What's that? Oh, key to the master bedroom. There's only 2 doors up here we haven't been in, and they're both in that hallway right there. So let's...
You need a key.
Oh,
Yes.
there we go. How kind of them to just leave all the keys lying around before they abandon the house. Where are all these people? Where's the husband and the daughter and the wife? Are they all dead? I guess we'll find out, huh? Bathroom. Got another key there. Child's room key. Diary entry 7. Diary of Florence Delacrevier, September 25th. It's happened again. Yesterday was Elisa's 8th birthday, and once again, Gene was nowhere to be found. As I suspected, he had completely forgotten. I may have been willing to let the incident on our anniversary slide, but I will not tolerate Gene neglecting his daughter as a consequence of whatever personal matter he is so deeply engaged in. I remember when she was first born, how he would dote over her morning and night, yet now he barely seems to notice her as she goes about this old house. I had ordered Gene to make it up to her, and this morning he returned from an outing to town with large boxes full of wooden toys for Elisa. It's bad enough that he thinks frivolous gifts will be enough to make up for forgetting his own daughter's birthday, but the toys themselves were more suitable for a child half her age, as though he has also forgotten how old she even is. Since then he has disappeared into his newly opened basement, and I have not seen him since. Maybe it is for the best, as I do not know how I would react to having him around anymore. This is sad. Like, he's gotten so involved, like, he had a big inheritance, so he didn't finish college or ever get a job. And he's gotten so engrossed in this, building whatever this elaborate puzzle shit is in the sub-level of this house that he's forgotten his own wife and child are even there. That's, man.
Yes.
This was the daughter's bedroom, so there's a secret chamber in here somewhere, I guess. Like, what? Oh. You don't have any blocks to place. We need to find blocks to put on that? Oh, right, because they were opening a door by arranging a password on wooden blocks. So we gotta find the blocks, put them there, and then form a word that'll open a door, presumably somewhere in this room. Moved toys. Mrs. Delcrevier, I have moved the toys Elisa received on her birthday into the attic, as per your request. If she wants them retrieving, they have been placed in the valuable storeroom, as the furniture storeroom was full. So how would be the other locked door in the attic? So let's...
Yes.
It's a cool statue. This guy's got suits of armor all over the place. That's a big one. That's a big ass statue too. What's that? Won't even let me interact with that, probably because we're not supposed to yet. Hey, look, blocks. Guess we need to go put those in on that shelf in the daughter's room and then figure out which word we're supposed to spell it. There. There we go. 5 letters. I guess it would be tripe if it were actually Elisa, the name of his daughter. Particularly since, the big plot point is that he seems to have forgotten his daughter is even a thing that exists. But let's go ahead and try it anyway and see what happens. Oh. Oh, wait. You know what it is? I totally forgot shit. We had that, what was that note about the Roman shit? This one. The Romans had a word for this. Anima, meaning the animating principle. For them it was the building blocks of life itself, the door to greater understanding. So the word is anima. There we go. From Gene. Gone into the basement. Maybe won't see me again. What the fuck? Just got boxes of bullets and... Oh, there's the basement key. Where's the basement door? Alright. I wonder if that's the door. It's gotta be downstairs. It can't be upstairs. The only door we haven't been in is that other one in the servants' quarter. This one.
Yes.
Yep. Diary entry number 8. Diary of Florence Del Crevier, September 29th. It has been 4 days now since Jean disappeared into the basement, and I have not seen any sign of him returning yet. It seems my next course of action must be to head down there myself to see what he is doing. I can only hope that he is safe. Well, this looks like... Oh, there's not a door there. What is that? Key to the sublevels.
Yes.
Chapter. That was the end of chapter 1. Alright. Chapter 2. Whoa. Pretty elaborate basement you got here, man. Good Lord. Holding area. Diary of Jean Del Crevier. Date is crossed out. It appears I will be based here for a little while longer. Work on the machine in the laboratory downstairs is still ongoing. Until I have finished constructing that, the laboratory itself is fairly useless to me. As such, I will be using this holding area as my research base for the next few days at least. It's not so bad as I still have things to keep me occupied when I am not finishing up the machine. I must admit I am anxious to see it in working order. Will it be able to fulfill its purpose? Only time will tell. Huh.
Need a key.
That one's locked.
Key is needed.
Locked. Okay. Why is there a prison built under this guy's house? Catalog of occupants. James Smith, low affinity, useless. Grigory Kiselyov, promising start but experiment unsuccessful. Damian Hawkins, very low affinity, barely survived. Theodore Carver, another low affinity. Huh. Cell block B key.
Do that.
Nope.
Do that. Yes.
Hmm. Failed experiments. The machine is finished at last, and I have finished my first experiments. Results waiting downstairs. The machine is finished at last, and I have my first experiment results waiting downstairs. All 4 subjects were very gracious in their participation, although I am disappointed to admit none of them proved particularly successful. It appears that they lack some essential spark, some natural affinity needed for the procedure to be a success. After the procedure was performed on them, all 4 men became almost hollow. They didn't react to either physical or vocal stimuli and became almost entirely nonverbal beyond reflex noises and shouts. I think a shorthand name for these unsuccessful results may prove useful, perhaps shadows. It seems a good fit for their silent, withdrawn nature to be shadows of their former selves. I, on the other hand, am more vigorous than ever. I must admit that I was deterred by the first few unsuccessful results, but I'll find myself more driven than ever after some time to think. All I need to do is find someone with a vital spark and the right amount of affinity needed to not just survive the procedure, but to thrive beyond it. However, if that does not happen soon, I will quickly find that this holding area becomes full. As such, I will be converting the downstairs maintenance area into a disposal room for any excess materials to save space. Huh. What the fuck was this guy doing to people? Holy shit. Access corridor. We got some kind of, what is that? Cell block crank. Alright.
Yes.
That's the maintenance corridor. Oh no.
You need a key.
Nope. Shower area. We got another key there. Maintenance key. Wait, there's another one. Lab stairs key.
Yes.
Multiple choices here. Laboratory access. I have installed a new mechanism on the laboratory door just in case things take a turn for the worse and I need to quickly seal the place closed. The door now makes use of an electrical audio locking mechanism, which, if it has no power, will remain permanently closed. I have linked this lock to the electrical room upstairs using a manner of my own invention. There are multiple fuse sockets installed on the wall, but only some of them are connected to the mechanism. In a way, this functions almost like an electrical combination lock. If you do not know the right fuse combination, the door remains locked. This means that if I want to stop anything getting in or out of the laboratory, all I need to do is remove one or more of the fuses.
Can't do that yet.
Nope, that's the shower room. Alright. How far are we going? Alright, maintenance access, right? Which is this way. Oh, hey, it's another valve crank. Here we... Maintenance crank.
Can't do that.
Change door. All waste materials disposed of. Seal maintenance area for now. Something has been hastily scribbled at the bottom of the note. Clearly a later addition. I left the chain cutters upstairs in case I need to get back in. Yeah, we're going to find that, aren't we? The infirmary key. And a fuse.
Key is needed. Yes.
Another fuse. Success. Finally! Today marked the occasion of the first successful run of the machine, meaning the procedure was able to be completed without producing a shadow as the result. As I suspected, it was the affinity of the subject that made all the difference, and the painter had plenty of that. Due to the success of the operation, I was able to both make an extraction and deposit the result into a new vessel without damaging it along the way, although I do have some concerns with the quality of the result. Well, that is a matter for another day. Today is a day for celebration. After all, it is not every day you finally have proof of your wildest theories. Theories that could change the course of the future forever. I don't know about that. I think you're fucking cuckoo, buddy.
Can't do that.
Electrical room key. There's the chain cutter.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Nobody's puts them in the second slot. Huh. How many of those do we have? 2? I found 3. What was that? How am I supposed to tell which ones are connected to the door and which ones aren't? Yeah.
The key is needed. Yes.
Something unlocked somewhere. Faulty gas works. It looks like those builders installed some faulty pipeworks for the gas when they constructed this area. I find myself consistently being locked out of this room. By my best guess, the failsafe that locks the door when the pressure reaches critical levels has become damaged, most likely by the high temperatures in here. Rather than locking only when the pressure becomes too high, it locks whenever there is any gas turned on at all. I must contact them again since this issue is rendering the room almost useless, as it requires a stable gas supply to run. In the meantime, I have turned the gas on both to keep the room locked and to better demonstrate the issue when the builders return. I also took an extra step of removing the valve handles to discourage myself from tampering with the machine and making things any worse. If I need to get back in, I'll just reattach the handles and turn the gas off to deactivate the failsafe. No, we already did that. So,
Yes.
yeah. On the origins of the shadows. Now that I find myself of little use for the shadows anymore, I find myself recollecting their origins. Did they know when they arrived that they would end up serving such a noble purpose for the betterment of humankind? Indeed, I was truly fortunate to already be good friends with the prison warden, since he needed funding and I needed a reliable supply of test subjects who would not be missed if they did not make it through the procedure. I was happy, due to having a decent amount of my comfortable inheritance to spare, to give him the money, and he was happy to give me any death row prisoner I would request access to. From that point onwards, it was simply a matter of baking a few executions and having the mortuary transport deliver the prisoners here. Truly, it does seem almost sad in a way to be getting rid of them. It is true that they were always destined for death one way or another, but after working with them on this experiment for so long, it feels wrong to just incinerate the bodies and say no more of them. But it is necessary. I will be more preoccupied with the successful results now, and I don't want any of the shadows to escape, lest my progress be halted so near to the experiment's conclusion. At least I still have my old interview tapes that I can consult if I need to. Interview room key, huh? Alright.
Can't do that.
Not that one. Oh, where's the interview room?
Yes.
Shadow interview number 1. Interview 001 transcript conducted by Jean Delacrevier, subject 001. Good morning, Damien. Brief pause. Patient unresponsive to old name. Beginning reflex test. 2 quiet thuds. Teller reflex test indicates reflex functions not linked to extracted property. Damien, did you feel that? Another pause. Patient seems to be completely unresponsive beyond reflex action. Suspending interview pending further analysis. Sounds like you drained the souls out of these people, man. Shadow interview 2. Shadow 004. I have learned by now that the shadows, as I've taken to calling them, are almost completely nonverbal. Today's interview will be testing the limits of that assumption. A brief pause and shuffling sounds as the shadow enters the room. Good morning, Shadow 4. Today we will be conducting some basic pain threshold tests. I have here a needle. Please tell me if you feel this. Sharp inhale. Very interesting. The shadows will not talk, but respond to pain. I suppose this makes sense, as other reflex actions also persist. Now, Shadow 4, I have here a hammer. Extend your finger, please. Shadow 4 shouts loudly. Can confirm reflex pain noises definitely persist. Concluding interview. Need some time to consider this information. Shadow Interview 3, Interview 16. Subject Shadow 8 and Shadow 13. Good morning, Shadow 8. I know you won't respond, but if we lose our social graces, we might as well be animals, don't you think? There's a pause. Indeed. Now I know your reflex actions persist after the procedure, but today we're going to see if your instincts do. Nothing too complicated, simply basic animal instincts such as the urge to protect the young of one species. Please excuse me a moment. The shuffling noises as Gene exits, then louder shuffles as he re-enters with another person. I have here with me Shadow 13. I believe you may recognize him. He occupies the cell opposite you. Now, I know he's not exactly young, but he was created after you, so let's hope that is enough. I also have with me my trusty chain cutters. Let's see if relieving 13 of a few of his fingers can provoke a reaction from you. 13, extend your arm, please. Scratching noises as the interview ends. What the fuck, man? Interview 21. Subject Echo 1. Good morning, subject. Do you know what you are? I am an echo. You created me and named me so yourself. Excellent. You recognize me as your creator. I do. Would you not recognize your creator? I'm afraid I can't say that I would, having never made his acquaintance. I have met him. Would you like me to introduce you? Do you want to introduce us to God? Is that what you're saying? Boy. Okay. Another fuse. Okay. Now what? Uh, how am I supposed to... I mean, we've been in every... This is guessing, and there's a shitload of combinations that this could possibly be. Like, Is it? Okay.
Can't do that yet.
There's no way to tell by the sounds because they all make exactly the same noise. Hmm. Off the corners. Oh. I just guessed. Random lucky. Okay, well I guess the door's open now. If that solution was in a note somewhere, I sure as hell didn't see it.
Yes.
As the experiment draws on to completion, it seems almost unthinkable now to look back at the humble beginnings from which it started. I had noticed that Florence realized I was in a constant state of boredom, and it seemed only natural for her to want to bring it out of me. But did she have any idea that her actions in trying to do so would set such great events in motion? Truly, when she sent me to speak to Father Albrecht for spiritual guidance, she could have never have known the flash of inspiration his old Bible, or rather one verse in particular, would ignite within me. Every now and then I find myself thinking of the verse every day. Psalm 142:7. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. During the early days, it made me wonder so much. Is the soul real? And if it is, could it be separated from its host body and placed in another vessel? It was from these questions that my idea for the machine developed, a machine which is now constructed and ready to fulfill its miraculous purpose of extracting people's souls and turning them into hollow, emotionless shells. Hold Hey, there's a gun. Can I have that, please? Because I hope that crazy asshole's not still in here somewhere.
Yes.
There we go. Chapter 3. Okay. Find Gene. I don't want to find him. He's crazy. Extraction machine. Incredible. I had my first truly successful run of the extraction machine today. I must make further notes of the process for later studies, but so far it seems that, given a high enough natural affinity, the soul of the subject can be safely extracted during the REM sleep phase. As such, the machine induces a state, extracts the soul, and transfers it into its new host body, a mechanical shell of my own creation. I have decided to name these shells Echoes, as a nod to their status as an echo of a former living person. This natural affinity of the soul is a fascinating prospect to me, and one which warrants further investigation. It seems to be linked in some ways to emotional expression. The first successful echo was itself created from a prisoner named Jacob, who had begun painting to pass the time until his execution. I must say his unique style of painting was what drew me to him, such vivid colors and imagination. I have scheduled an interview with Jacob Echo, so I may try to understand his new state, but for now he is safely placed in Experiment Storage Alpha. Alpha storage key.
Yes.
Something strange has happened to Jacob Echo. The man Jacob was, as I previously mentioned, a character of vivid imagination and creativity. There is no evidence of this trait in Jacob Echo. The Echo has become cold, cruel, and vindictive. I had initially theorized that this was an expression of spite toward myself, putting him through the procedure, but the only thing Jacob Echo will tell me for certain is that he almost prefers his new state. So I must try to restore at least some of his emotions to him. Humanity's next evolutionary step shouldn't be a one that reduces us to unfeeling machines. My current theory is allowing Jacob Echo to create a meaningful bond with another Echo will help socialize him somewhat and restore some of his more positive traits. I must go in search of an appropriate subject for conversion.
Yes. Key is needed. Can't do that.
Mm.
Key is needed.
Experiment security. Mr. Delacrevier, we have taken the liberty of installing a power-secured lock on this door. Whatever it is you intend to do in here, you have made it perfectly clear that you didn't want any unauthorized visitors. So when the doors have no power, they'll simply lock down and refuse to open for anyone. That means on the occasions when you definitely want to block access to the room, just cut the power and it'll be secured. If you desire to have finer control over the door's power, just let us know. But for the moment, it will be linked to the main power breaker downstairs. If the breaker is unpowered, then so is the door. Regards, the Samson's Builder Association.
Yes.
I worry that my pursuit of knowledge could be taking this too far. It seems like no waste to use death row prisoners in my experiments, but bringing ordinary civilians into this leaves a foul taste in my mouth. Still, I believe I have a solution to the problem with Jacob Echo, and I have found a suitable Echo companion to socialize him with. I have kidnapped the man Jacob's wife, Leah. She will be turned into an Echo shortly. I hope this works.
Yes.
Interview transcript. Good morning, Jacob Echo. I have something to show you today, which I hope will improve your temperament somewhat. There is nothing you could present me with that would change my current feelings. I wouldn't be so sure, Jacob Echo. Bear with me a moment as I remove this curtain. The sound of a fabric. You may find what lies behind it quite surprising. The sound of a fabric curtain being sharply pulled away. You have constructed another echo. Why should I find this surprising? That is not the echo itself you should find surprising, but the soul it contains, Jacob Echo. I would like you to reintroduce you to your wife. You may call her Leah Echo. Yeah, I see. You confront me with an echo of my human self's wife in the vain hope that it will restore me to a more pleasant state. I am sorry to inform you that it won't work. This woman means nothing to me. It's true. That's Echo too, Leah Echo. It's true. I hadn't seen Jacob for some time prior to his incarceration. Jean, why is that? Should a husband's last thoughts before imprisonment not be of his wife? Leah Echo. Maybe for a man who had not been conducting an affair with another woman for many months. It's not me you want, it's her. That foul girl, Rachel. Jean, if that's the case, consider this interview over. I shall return you to experiment shortage. I think she meant storage. Experiment storage beta shortly. Leah Echo. Okay.
I need a key.
Small gears. Medium gears. Are there large gears somewhere? What are we doing here?
Can't do that.
Leah Echo was right. Just recently I located the girl Rachel with whom she spoke and was able to confirm she had been partaking in frequent visits to the man Jacob while he was incarcerated. This at least confirms that she was having some form of affair with him, but will she be enough to restore him to his former personality? Only time will tell. I have freed the soul of Leah from her echo shell. It seemed pointlessly cruel to keep her imprisoned without any need. Besides, I will be needing the shell again soon. Rachel is currently housed in the upstairs holding area, pending her conversion into an echo. I shall have her converted and presented to Jacob Echo as quickly as possible. I can't afford to waste any time at such a crucial point of the experiment as this. Alright, I guess we're looking for the power room.
Can't do that yet.
Well,
Yes.
Gene, remember how the power works. 3 gears needed, 1 large, 1 medium, and a set of smaller ones. If the gears become detached, don't worry, they can simply be slotted back on. Please put these on the wall in the correct arrangement and it will allow the power mechanism to resume operation. I know that seems strange, but it's the most optimal way for the space available. I mean, does that not look... Oh, no, I thought they were different sizes, but they're not. They're all the same size. Right. They're not even touching. Right. What the hell? Alright.
Yes.
Office key.
Yes.
No success. Even Rachel Echo could not approve Jacob Echo's temperament in the slightest. He definitely recognized her as the subject of his human self-desire, but said that feeling was lost to him now. If meaningful connections cannot restore the humanity of an Echo, what else is there? The pressure to get this right is growing now. I feel as though I must make some breakthrough sooner, or what else was all this work for? I have deactivated the Echoes for the foreseeable future. The burn of their eyes on me during observation periods was unbearable, and though they never said a single word to me outside of interviews, I knew the cruel thoughts that circulated in their minds. I have not, however, released their souls from the Echo shells. This means they are functionally aware to a degree, but are deprived of the movement, hearing, speaking, and vision abilities that their Echo shells provide them with. I've decided to look backwards for inspiration. Perhaps some of my older failed experiments can provide me with inspiration for a solution to this problem. Morgue key.
I need a key. I can't do that yet.
There's nothing down here anymore.
Yes.
Looking back over these failed experiments, perhaps I approached the newer ones from the wrong angle. I had assumed that affinity of the soul was based on emotional intelligence and maturity, but these patient records show that many of the inmates I had chosen for echo conversion could be emotionally intelligent, as more than a few of them were painters, sculptors, and as such in their spare time. So if emotional intelligence is not the answer, then I am left to conclude that affinity must be based on knowledge and willpower above all else. What else is there to judge a person by? And truly, who has more knowledge of the soul and willpower to persevere than myself? It is I that designed and built the extraction machine. It was I that carried on despite numerous setbacks. Therefore, it is I alone who will be able to withstand the extraction process and emerge with my emotional state unscathed on the other side. For this purpose, I must set to work creating a modified version of the extraction machine, one I can safely use on myself from within the same room. He extracted his own soul and put it in a robot? Good Lord. Workshop key. I've decided to create my own key for the Omega experiment room. To do this, I'll need to take some unrefined metal, heat it so that it can be shaped, and then cut it into shape. To avoid damaging the lock mechanism on the Omega room's door, I should probably sand it down as well to remove any rough or sharp edges. If something goes wrong during this process, the metal will become useless for crafting into a key, but I can just crush it back into its original shape to restart the process. The Omega experiment room has now been prepared with a modified version of the soul extraction machine. To keep it safe, I have devised a key of my own design which can be made here, in the workshop. No other keys will work on this door, and the Omega room key itself is only usable once from the outside, to avoid any unauthorized visitors from having repeat access to the room. I have foregone the creation of an echo shell to deposit my extracted soul into. I have faith that my force of willpower alone will provide me with the ability to create a corporeal form for my soul if necessary. You crazy motherfucker. Now only one thing remains. Time to liberate my soul from this body. Oh, I think I messed it up. Wait. Yeah, I need to... Yeah, I goofed. I accidentally heated it twice and it screwed it up. Are we supposed to cut it first? And then sand it? I might have messed up the order there.
Yes.
What do you mean completed? He's not here. He's gone. No shadow. No echo. Nothing. What did he do? Where did he go? What has he become? Probably became nothing, because he vaporized himself. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name. Psalm 142:7. What a strange story in a strange game. It wasn't really... not a horror game at all, just the story of a bored guy with too much money and too much time on his hands who got obsessed with the ability to extract the human soul and place it into a machine, and then he did it on himself at the end without a body for it to go into. It appears he just disappeared. That was really interesting. I actually liked that. I mean, it was find a bunch of keys, solve a puzzle, find a bunch of keys, solve a puzzle, find a bunch of keys, solve a puzzle. But the story in the middle kept it interesting from being boring. Like, if there had been no story in the middle of that, it would have been droll. But, you know, trying to see where this guy's, you know, seeing his obsession get deeper and deeper until he, I mean, I assume he was pretty much insane to do that on himself without even without with a shell to put it in. Extracting your own soul is insanity, and he did it without anywhere for it to go once it was out. Of course, that doesn't explain where did his body go once his soul was out of it, and also what happened to his wife and daughter, because that was never explained either. Huh. All in all, though, that was good. I like that. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next game.